In our hands, bills are getting tentatively planned. Lives transforming lives. Lives a chance to thrive. Let your spirit flow. Roots dig down where the strong winds blow. We learn to bend and let courage show. Each droplet of hope, each tender hand builds a garden time perfectly planned, empowering lives, transforming lives. Every sunrise, a chance to thrive. Dream close, let your spirit grow. Welcome to the Gardner Show. Yes. Good morning once again. If you've just tuned in, if you're up and about, it's a beautiful morning here where I am. I don't know how beautiful it is on your side, but what I know, as long as you're up and about, that's God's blessing to you, and how you spend your day should be your blessing back to Him. So today we are talking about how we can build an unshakable confidence. Yes, how can we build unshakable confidence? We know that today the only thing that has hindered us from becoming is lack of confidence. And when you look at the youth, when you look at the adults, many of them are not so confident in their skin, they're not so confident in their thoughts, they're not so confident in their emotions. And because they have failed to be confident, then they have failed to attain the things that they desire to do, be, and have in life. So today we're going to deconstruct this thing called confidence and how we can better up ourselves and be confident and go for that we want, and be confident to accept who we are, and be confident to attain and align our thoughts and our emotions onto that of which we are. So when we talk about confidence, the thing that really gives me the understanding of confidence is the palm tree. You know, when you take some time and you go to the beach or somewhere where there are palm trees, there is some underlying principle that you will realize. The palm tree is a tree that is very interesting. It is very tall, it is very slender, but it does not easily break. But every time I look at it, maybe when the winds are blowing it so hard, it will bend but won't break. It will bend but come back. It will bend and stay strong, regardless of its height and its size. So for me, every time I look at it, it teaches me what true confidence is. Not just what true confidence is, but it tells me or teaches me where true confidence comes from. And when you look at it, you realize that true confidence comes from within. When the life winds blow you, your roots will help you stay connected to yourself, not your image that will keep you standing. It is the roots that will keep you standing. And the palm tree has mastered that because its roots go deeper and deeper, which helps it to stand strong in the test of time. So, one, let's talk about the roots of the palm tree. I want to assure you that confidence begins with self awareness and self trust. You don't trust your leaves, you don't trust your stem, you trust the root that gives connection to the stem and the leaves. And when we talk about knowing yourself, self awareness, self trust, we are talking about knowing your values. You stop being shaken by opinions, what people think about you. You stop being shaken by what people say about you. You stop being shaken by what people even imagine you to be. Because whenever you think people are imagining or thinking about you, congratulations, they are not. because they have better things to think about other than you. So a tree draws its strength from its roots. We as humans, our confidence comes from our self awareness, self trust. Because if your roots are deep, if your self awareness is epic, you trust it, you know your strength and your weakness, then no storm of life will uproot you. The second thing I learned from the palm tree is its resilience in the storm. The palm tree bends but never breaks. It will bend to a certain level, but it won't break, it will come back. And that's what we call resilience, the ability to bounce back. Therefore, confidence isn't built by avoiding the storm. Nobody has ever been confident because they avoided circumstances. Confidence is built out of habituality. It's built out of facing the storm. It's built whenever you stand and fail, but fail forward. That palm tree survives the wind because it is willing to bend with the wind. It does not avoid it. It bends with it, but as far as the wind pushes it, it comes back to its initial position. That's the same thing we need to replicate. As much as life throws wind on us, adversities, challenges, we need to learn how to be malleable. Are you able to bend but never break? Are you able to be resilient to bounce back with determination? And I normally tell people that resilience is the ability at which you're able to bounce back. But that ability is directly proportional to three factors. One, the nature of which you are made of: self knowledge, self awareness, self trust. The second is the nature of the surface you are bouncing on. How hard is it? How soft is it? Because if it is soft, it won't make you resilient. But if it is hard, that means it will build your confidence. And finally, the energy you use. When your energy is too low, you bounce so low. When it is too high, you bounce so high. So resilience helps us to bounce back. It helps us to dance with the wind. And when we dance with the wind, that means we are better and we're doing better. And finally, the palm tree teaches me patience and growth. The bamboo tree grows slowly. There's that famous bamboo tree, it's called the Chinese bamboo tree, that spends 5 years before it sprouts out. But in those 5 years, all it does is to dig its roots deep, so that it can be able to sustain the structure when it sprouts. So the bamboo tree actually takes 5 years to dig its roots beneath the soil. But when it sprouts out, it takes only 1 year to grow 100 feet tall. It's the tallest tree, but that tree is not just tall, it is resilience. It's resilient, it moves with the wind, it does not easily break. People say that actually it is better than even rubber. That's how resilient it is. And for it to be patient, for it to grow, it forms that consistency. It doesn't come overnight. As I normally tell people, success does not come overnight. It is out of repeated habits that are done consistently and insistently. And these acts come with choices. Each choice, each failure, each success adds a ring to your track, adds a ring to your resilience, adds a ring to your ability, it adds a ring to your growth. So, confidence, ladies and gentlemen, isn't light and strike. No, it is sunrise after sunrise. Every day, you put in the effort, you put in the work, and you put in the power and the growth, the willingness for you to move. So, what is confidence? Now that we know some of the things that entail confidence, but what is confidence? Many of us confuse confidence to fear. Confidence, ladies and gentlemen, is not the absence of fear, but acting despite of fear. I'll give you my own story. When I had just started public speaking, I remember my first talk. I went in front of an audience. There were around 15 of them. It was a small group. But on that stage, I was trembling. My heart was pumping very fast. My palms were sweating. My thoughts became scattered. I could not think. I was trembling. And all over a sudden, I was there looking at them. I went silent for a moment. But later, I picked up myself and gave that talk. Was it excellent? Definitely not. But did I have lessons to learn from? Yes, I did. So when we talk about confidence, it's not the absence of fear. It's acting despite of fear. It is the willingness to move regardless of what happens. Confidence is not arrogance. Many of us think being arrogant and being so loud enough is what confidence is. No. Confidence is the uncertainty within you. That moment where you feel, yes, I have to do it regardless. Look at a flame. When you look at a flame and there is wind, the flame will not fight the wind. It will try to move in the direction through which the wind is blowing. But it keeps strong. And that's what confidence is. Regardless of the wind, are you able to flow? Are you able to marinate? Are you able to keep growing? Therefore, fear will test us. Fear will test you. But confidence will keep you burning. Because regardless of the fear, you keep moving, you keep taking up the baton. And that's what is important, that we shall face trials and tribulations, but are we able to face them? Jay Holiday wrote a book that the obstacle is the way. What he was trying to tell us is that your confidence is your path. The willingness to pass the obstacle is what gives you confidence and does not come overnight. But for us to be able to understand confidence, as I normally say, we need to understand the misconceptions that have made us not to be confident. The first misconception is that we think confident people are born confident. That is very wrong and not true. Nobody is born confident. Confidence is just like a muscle. It is grown or it is built out of habituality. It is grown or it is built out of practice. It is grown or it is built out of your willingness to face your obstacles and move forward. You need to learn how to build through use. Build through. Because every time you act upright, you lift the muscle higher. You know, a muscle is built when you practice, when you're consistent, and when you even break loose. You leave your comfort zone and try to do something better, something great. That's how you build the muscle. Therefore, every time you act, regardless of you being upright, you lift the muscle, you build your muscle of confidence. I told you my story. I was standing in front of 15 to 20 people, trembling, shaking, sweating, but I had to do it. I had to face my fears. And every time I did it, I built my confidence. And today I think I'm better where I am. The second is that you don't have to have approvals of others to be confident. Many of us have attached our confidence to status, to success, to compliments. And that is not true because you cannot rely on uncertainties. You cannot rely when people will push you. You can't rely when people will praise you. You can't rely on when people will applaud you. You can't rely on when you will be successful. So your confidence should be not be put on externalities. You need to grow your roots deeper, just like the palm tree. Don't rely on the weather. Self-worth, self-confidence does not rely on applauses. What that palm tree does, it builds its roots deep so that when it sprouts out and the wind comes, the externalities it's able to move with the wind, but not to break. So when you rely your confidence on externalities, you'll break. But when you rely your confidence onto your self-knowledge and sprout your roots deeper to contain what is above, then you'll stand the test of time and the storm that is coming you. The third myth is that confident people never doubt. No, the most doubtful people are the confident people. I've told you I doubted myself on stage, but that made me confident because I had to build the muscle, I had to know, and I had to resist what others are thinking. When you go to the beach, you realize that The waves will rise, but they will also fall. The lake or the ocean where you are will become calm again, but the depth stays calm. The waves only blow on top of the lake or on top of the ocean, but within the lake, it is calm. And calmness within is what builds confidence. The doubt may come. Doubt is more or less of the ripples on the surface of the lake, but it cannot move you deeper. So, what are you made of within that keeps you in tandem with what you believe in and what you do? And that is what determines how confident you are. Now, how? Now we know the misconceptions. We have learned from the palm tree. We know what confidence is. Then, how can we be confident in our daily life? Before we go to the barriers that hinder our confidence, the first way for you to build your confidence, that unstoppable confidence, falls in four pillars. These pillars, I want you to look at them as the pillars holding up a house or holding up the foundation of the house. It cannot stand without these pillars. The first one is self awareness. I have talked about it. Know your identity, know who you are, know your goals, know your values, know your beliefs, know, check. Because often in time, the things that we believe are the things that are not us. Are we able to question? We know as we grow, we are normally told that we cannot do it. If you have babies, you've had parents telling them, stop, stop, stop. And that stopping hinders your self-confidence. So you need to go back and question the things you believe in, question your values, question everything so that you can know from your own point of view, not from your parents' point of view, not from the society's point of view, not of the community's point of view, but your own point of view. That's how you build your identity. And once you build your identity, once you know and understand, then you're able to manage yourself. Regardless of what people tell you from without, you believe yourself from within, the structure. The second is self trust. Believe in your ability to adapt. Whom do you trust? Do you trust your roots? Do you trust your stem? Do you trust your leaves? Do you trust your family members? Do you trust your friends? Do you trust your community? But trust should come from within. The palm tree trusts its roots because they are firm within, and those roots are what that keeps it standing. What do you trust? What are you made of? And the third is resilience. We said resilience is the ability to bounce back. It's the ability to take the step when you feel less of yourself. It's the ability for you to practice and understand that you're going to fail, but the willingness to fail forward. And finally, the fourth is you need to have a growth mindset. Carol Dalwick wrote a book, Growth Mindset. And in that book, she said that you need to see your effort as progress. Many of us focus on the results, losing sight of the process. And every time you focus on the result, you put yourself under pressure, anxiety, depression, stress, because you're looking for the gold. But top athletes do not focus on the goal, they focus on the process. Each step they make should be in tandem with what they want to achieve. So you need to focus on each step you make, on the progress, on the effort. It's like if I want to read Robert Greene's book, yeah, The 48 Laws of Power, it's a big volume. I cannot say I'll read it in a year. No, I'll break it down and tell myself that every day I'll read 2 pages. That is focusing on the process. By the time I've finished a week, I've read 14 pages. By the time I finish a month, multiply by those are the pages. So it is always the process that leads to the result. And whenever we focus on the process, we evaluate, we know. If you're out there and you're going out to have a talk or to have this public talk or to talk to people and you feel you're less, focus on the process. Focus, okay, when I appear there, what am I going to do? How am I going to start my conversation? How am I going to build rapport? How am I going to connect with them? And how am I going to conclude? That is the process. And whenever you focus on the process, that means you're going to move a step by step. And that step by step is what will lead you to the end in mind. And when we put these four pillars into together and we align them, they act as our foundation, and our foundation is unshakable. And that is the confidence that we desire. But we very well know that whoever is willing to plant millet should be curious of the buds. Whoever is willing to plant millet should be curious of the buds. As you struggle, as you desire, as you want to grow your confidence, you should be knowledgeable, aware of the barriers, of the obstacles you're going to face. Because those obstacles and barriers, when you know them, you work along with them to build yourself. The first barrier is the fear of judgment. Fear will cut down your wings. I tell people the king of the birds is the eagle. The eagle's ability to fly is based on its two wings. But when the eagle realizes that one of its wing is not working, it cannot fly hard or higher. So many of us, fear of judgment has clipped our one wing. The bird, the eagle won't ask the sky for permission for it to fly. No, it does not. It will fly. The same applies to us. Why would you ask for permission? Why would you seek for affirmations and confirmation and permission from externalities? Be like the bird, be like the eagle. It looks for no permission. All it does is to fly and soar. I've talked about the palm tree. Palm tree does not ask for permission from the ground for it to sprout its roots deeper. All it does is to move its roots deeper so that it can sustain its wealth. Stop looking for affirmation, for applauses, for success from within. Stop looking for people's acceptance. Accept yourself and shine from within. That's why you build your confidence. The second barrier is attachment to ego. Ego simply means what you think about yourself and what others think about you. It is conflict in between. And for us, we very well know that confidence flows when the self-image loosens. When you lose yourself, you find yourself, they say. It's like, mostly it's like a river. A river will flow calmly to its intended destination. But when it freezes, it's stuck somewhere. Many of us are stuck because we have failed to let go of the ego, what we think, what people will think about us. So it hinders us from becoming our true self. Or many of us take on identities of other people to an extent that when we start to speak, somebody will be like, you speak like. When somebody ever tells you that you speak like somebody, just know you've lost yourself. And here we're saying confidence comes from letting go of the ego. When you lose that self-image and accept the reality of who you are, if you stammer and speak. If you're to cry, cry. If you're to laugh, laugh. That is how you let go of yourself and become yourself. And finally, the third is conditioning from the past. This is how we think. I told you most of us grew up in societies where people were telling us we are less. Some were telling us we cannot do it. Some were telling us, you know what, you want to be the first. But losing sight of the past experiences helps you grow in your newness. Somebody once said that an ocean that is willing to flow or to move does not fear losing sight of the shores. That is the ship. You need to lose sight of what you think, the past, the experiences, the knowledge, so that you are able to stand confidently in your own skin. Because our old beliefs, our old thoughts, our old emotions have blocked us from growing. Because you failed now, you move forward without mentality of failing. You think every time you're going to try, every time you're going to do something like that, you're going to fail. No, you need to lose of the past, of the emotions, of the experiences, so that you can get new experiences and be whole and new again. It's more or less of a canvas. When you look at artists, they get that big canvas. And all they do is that canvas has to be clean. It has to be white. Why? Because they want to put new colors, they want to put new images. Even us, we need to lose sight. We need to lose the past experience, the past emotions, the past thoughts, so that we have a clean canvas to paint our life on, build our confidence that is unstoppable. And we only do that, one, by becoming vulnerable. We need to build honest beliefs. Beliefs not in externalities, but beliefs in our own self. And we know that whenever you are real, you outperform perfection. Perfection is not about copying, it's about being true to yourself. Then you need to learn how to challenge negative beliefs, negative thoughts. Will they come? Yes, they will come. But you need to learn how to challenge them. How the small self-talk that happens within you determines how well you are confident. If you have the small voice telling you, I can't, change it with I can do it. Because confidence begins with how you speak to yourself, not how others speak to you. It is your self-talk that determines how confident you are. And finally, you need to embrace feedback. You need to fall forward, not backwards, but fall forward. Because when you fall, you need to get up, turn back, and ask yourself, why did I fail? Learn from it, outgrow it, and then tomorrow, when you meet the same obstacle, when you meet the same challenge, you're able to tackle it because you learned from it. So we need to embrace failure as feedback, not an end, but it's just feedback. And finally, the last one, you need to learn how to celebrate small wins. Each win adds a brick to your foundation, which foundation builds your confidence and your self esteem. Confidence, ladies and gentlemen, I can assure you, is built in leaps. Confidence is not built in leaps. It's a layer after a layer. It's more or less of somebody who's peeling an onion. There is a layer after layer after layer, and your willingness to pluck off each layer is what builds the confidence. And for us, that starts with self-awareness. Declutter the things that are not you. Remove the things that don't make you. Remove the things that you believe are not true. Remove the things that people have told you are not true. Now be firm in your own skin. Be firm in your own roots, because a bird does not fear to get on the tree branch because the tree branch will fail or will break. It does not. Why? Because it trusts its wings. Are you able to trust your roots? Are you able to trust yourself? Are you able to trust the process other than the destination? Matter of fact, be reminded that whenever doubt hits in, just know that is the moment for you to master yourself, to speak louder about yourself. Why? Because being courageous means acting anyway. Regardless of fear, it is there, but you're able to act regardless. And each act of bravery deepens your roots, deepens that confidence, deepens your self belief, that deepens who you are. I want to remind you that confidence will never and does not come before courage. It comes because of it. Confidence comes because of courage, the willingness to move forward, the willingness to face the obstacles, the willingness to face the things that you fear most. Because it's not the absence of fear. When we know that, when we appreciate that, we learn that actually confidence is just a journey. It's just a moment. It's not a moment. It is a journey towards that of which you want to attain. So each and every day, each and every moment, you need to act in accordance to your beliefs, in accordance to what you are. The bamboo tree does not avoid the storm. The palm tree does not avoid the storm. It outlasts them. It faces them. And that is what we need, standing in truth. And once you stand in truth, fear becomes wind beneath your branches. Fear becomes wind beneath your thoughts. Fear becomes wind beneath your emotions. Why? We know that the storm does not break the bamboo tree, it does not break the palm tree. What the storm does, it reveals its strength, challenges, adversities, the things you fear are just an illusion. And when you face them, you realize how they never existed. And that will reveal how strong you are. So I want you to ask yourself today and day forth, where are my roots? How deep are they? What winds are you allowing yourself to shake? Because once you start to analyze where your roots are, what they are made of, and what wind is blowing you, you're building confidence in the due process. And that is what gives you calmness within. And once you have calmness within, you have calmness without. And whenever we manage ourselves within, we are calm, then we are strong to face life challenges head on, living happy and fulfilled. So I want to give you a call. Be like the palm tree, be like the bamboo tree, grounded in truth, reacting to the sky, but unshakable in every storm. And we have learned how we can be unshakable in every storm. Once we incorporate this, then we are able to stand strong in our skins, not fearing the winds, but trusting the roots of our foundation that they're able to hold us regardless of what wind blows. And that's when we will speak with confidence, we'll believe in ourselves, and then we are unstoppable, going after that of which we desire to do, be, and have in life. This is what I wanted us to share today about confidence and how we can approach it and get to our life dreams and get to our life missions and get to our life destinations. Let us go out, practice, incorporate, and let us be unstoppable because we know who we are and what we are made of. Thank you so much. I'll take 2 or 3 questions or compliments so that we can call this a week as well.
Thank you. Thank you so much. Thank you, Doctor. You can go on. Thank you. Thank you, Doctor, for such a topic. It's a nice way to start a week. My appreciation. I've learned that actually we can big fun like a big country and we celebrate the small embrace faith. We will learn that keeping such and not that and I actually know that this week we are good such a topic. I want a nice week. Thank you so much, Doctor.
Thank you so much. At least I know somebody learned something, took out something. Can I have any other so that we can call it a morning? Okay, if we don't have any complaint, comment, suggestion, then I would want to wish you a blessed week ahead. Let's go out and
Hello.
yes.
Yes, all right. Thank you so much, Dr. Gardner, for the nice session. It was really insightful. Thank you so much, everyone, for joining. I don't really have a question. I just some sort of face a similar challenge of confidence, you say, but then I managed to pull up myself and do the needful. So then I think I will just have to sit down and evaluate. Then I'll be free to reach out to you in case I'll be having any questions. But thank you so much for the insightful discussion that we had.
Thank you so much, Alondra. It's quite exciting that at least we have somebody who has tried it out, and that's what we do: learn some, teach some, and practice some. Because every time you step out to believe in yourself, there are challenges that will come, but those challenges are not there to destroy you, they're there to make you better, and they're there to polish out who you are. So often in time, be confident to stand in your skin and share your thoughts, your feelings, and your ideas that you have, regardless of the winds that may blow. Thank you so much, Alondra.
You're welcome, Doctor.
Yep. So if we don't have any other, let's go out, do better, connect better, and leave this world a better place. But most importantly, let's go out and live confident in our skin as we pursue the things that we desire to do, be, and have in life. I remain yours, Gardner, and remember it is our morning call that happens on Monday, Wednesday, and Friday. Feel free to invite and invite and invite, because the people you share, the people that you are with, the friends that you have, are the people that make who you are and determine how far you go and how better you become. Otherwise, till next time, have yourselves a blessed week.
You too, Doctor. Speak, everyone.